لحبيبي سناه من عرض ربي قلبي له موئل يرعاه بالحب ترقيه عيني وتأبى للكرى سكنا ما لم يشرقت نفسي بنور.
When Khubayb ibn Adi radiallahu anhu was captured by the mushrikeen and he was brought to the outskirts of Mecca, and this is approximately where Masjid Aisha is today, and they wanted to kill him slowly, so they began to cut his flesh, and then they began to pierce him with their swords and their spears. And while he was going through this excruciating pain, Abu Sufyan, who was not a Muslim at the time, came to him and he said, "Oh Khubayb, don't you prefer that Muhammad was in your place and you were in the comforts of your home?" And whilst he was going through this pain, he said, "I swear by Allah, you talking about this excruciating pain that I'm going through? Death is easier for me than a thorn pricked the Prophet Sallallahu Alayhi Wasallam." And then Khubayb asked them, could he read 2 rakats? And they allowed him to pray 2 rakats. And when he finished, he turned toward the mushrikeen and he said, "I've prayed 2 very short rakats because I didn't want you to think that I was scared of death." And then he supplicated to Allah. He said, "Oh Allah, we believed in you and we followed the precepts of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Now convey my salams to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam." And the Prophet ﷺ was in Medina, and Osama bin Zayd radiallahu anhu was sitting next to the Prophet ﷺ. And he said, all of a sudden, I saw the eyes of the Prophet ﷺ well up. I saw his tears begin to flow. And he said, Khubayb has just sent his salams. But it was on this occasion that Abu Sufyan, when he heard the reply of Khubayb, that death is easier for me than a thorn pricked the Prophet Sallallahu Alayhi Wasallam, that Abu Sufyan said, "I have sat with the emperors of Persia and I have sat with the emperors of Rome, and I've seen the way their followers love them, and I've seen how Muhammad's followers love him, and I swear by Allah, the followers of the Roman and the Persian emperors don't love them like Muhammad's followers love him Sallallahu Alayhi Wasallam." When the Prophet, peace be upon him, came to Medina, he would give his Jummah khutbah leaning upon a tree trunk. And then a lady came to him and she said, "I have a slave who's a very good carpenter. If you wish, I will ask him to make a pulpit for you." And he agreed. And he came the next week and he ascended the pulpit. And this narration is tawatur, meaning that many Sahaba were sitting there. And each one narrates it in his own words. That the tree trunk, some narration mentioned that it began to shake like it was about to explode. Other narration mentioned it was like a she-camel whose child had been dragged away from it. Others mentioned it was like a small child who had lost his parents. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, descended from the pulpit and he embraced it, and the sobbing slowly stopped, and then it gave it an opportunity and a choice to be a tree in Jannah from which the awliya and the sulaha eat from its fruits, and they chose to be a tree in Jannah. And this is why when the Prophet, peace be upon him, passed away, Umar radiallahu anhu would often cry. He would cry and he said, "Why shouldn't I cry? Didn't a tree cry over the departure of the Prophet Sallallahu Alayhi Wasallam?" I often say, no mother has loved her child like Abu Bakr loved the Prophet Sallallahu Alayhi Wasallam. No child has loved his mother. No Romeo has loved his Juliet. No Juliet has loved her Romeo like Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu loved the Prophet Sallallahu Alayhi Wasallam. Umar would say, if I could give actions of my entire life and the actions of my entire family for one day and one night in the life of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, I would. You know what that one day was? That one day was in the cave when they migrated, where Abu Bakr entered into the cave and he wanted to clean it up, and he saw a number of holes, and he took off his garment and he shredded it into small pieces, and he filled the holes, and then he requested the Prophet Sallallahu Alayhi Wasallam to come in, and the Prophet came inside, and then he lay on his flat thigh. And then there was one hole which he had no garment left for, so he stuck his foot upon it, and in that hole there was a snake, and it bit the foot of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Can you imagine the pain? And he was going through this pain, and he didn't want to wake up his beloved. Has there ever been a mother who was bit by a snake and she did not want to wake up her child? Never. Because there has never been a person who loved another person like Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu loved the Prophet Sallallahu Alayhi Wasallam. He brought love to a different dimension, and he's going through this excruciating pain, and then the tears began to flow down his cheeks, and they fell on the blessed cheek of the Prophet Sallallahu Alayhi Wasallam. And then the Prophet Sallallahu Alayhi Wasallam woke up, and he saw what Abu Bakr was going through, and he took his saliva and he placed it upon his foot, and it was as though he had never been bit by a snake. When the Prophet, peace be upon him, gave this final khutbah 2 days before he passed away, he felt better, and he came and he prayed salah behind Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, and Abu Bakr was going to move back, and he told him, remain on your place. I mean, what kind of greater honor can you have than that? The man who led the Anbiya in Salah, Abu Bakr had the honor of leading him in Salah. And then the Prophet Sallallahu Alayhi Wasallam ascended the pulpit, and he gave this example of a man who has been given a choice of remaining in the dunya or moving unto his Lord, and he had chosen to move unto his Lord. And all the other Sahaba thought it was just an example, a parable. But Abu Bakr understood that it was referring to the Prophet, peace be upon him. And he began to cry uncontrollably. And Abu Sayyid al-Khudri radiallahu anhu mentioned, I saw him crying, and I was thinking, why is this old man crying for? And then the Prophet Sallallahu Alayhi Wasallam saw him, and he said, oh Abu Bakr, calm down, Abu Bakr, calm down. And then the Prophet Sallallahu Alayhi Wasallam said, he said, whoever has done me a favor in this dunya, I have repaid their favor. As for the favors of Abu Bakr, Allah will repay him on the day of judgment. And if I was to take anybody as a friend, I would have taken Abu Bakr as a friend. But the brotherhood of Islam is enough. And the day he passed away, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu came into the masjid. You could imagine the state of the Sahaba. The Prophet Sallallahu Alayhi Wasallam said, if anybody is ever afflicted with a calamity, then remember my death. And you have to be amongst those people who live with the Prophet ﷺ to really understand what he meant. So when the Prophet ﷺ passed away, and he came into the house, and the blessed body was lying in the house of Aisha radiallahu anha, the daughter of Abu Bakr, and he removed the sheet from the blessed face of the Prophet ﷺ, and he kissed him upon his forehead, and he said, Tibta hayyan wa mayyitan ya Rasulullah. He said, oh Messenger of Allah, you are beautiful in life, and you are as beautiful in death.
خذ بقلبي للرشد